Hello, gents, and all the ladies watching. This is Avik Chatterjee from The Men Incorporated. In my first video for this channel, I am going to be talking about a topic which I feel is extremely important and something that does not get talked about often. It's often pushed under the carpet, as they say, and we all need to address the elephant in the room. It is about consent. Yes, you heard me right. Consent. Does that have you hooked? You as men should be hooked, because it is about you. While it is something that applies to both sexes, men and women, we are here to talk about the men. And you better listen. Coming right up. Today we are going to be talking about 4 things that men need to know about consent. Point number 1, consent while getting physical. There have often been times where women are uncomfortable when somebody touches them without their permission or touches them in places that makes them uncomfortable, especially when this happens in the setting of an office environment, when this happens when you're out with a group of people, because these are environments where women can usually not raise their voice often. They feel this is probably a place where they should not make a big scene out of it. They're scared because the person might be their boss, they're scared because the person might be their colleague, or they don't want to make a mess of things, they don't want to spoil a friendship. There are a lot of reasons that make women stay silent on this issue. What should you do if you're a man? Before touching a girl, whether that's simply putting an arm around her shoulder, whether that's patting her on the thigh, whether that's putting your hand on her hand, look out for signs A that tell you that she's okay and comfortable. If you have any doubt, B, just ask her, is she okay if you place your arm around her shoulder? It's as simple as that. And if she gives you a yes, then and only then, looking at the context, looking at the surroundings, and looking at whether she's comfortable or not, go ahead. Point number 2, consent while using somebody's personal property. Personal property does not only mean somebody's phone or somebody's wallet, it can also mean pictures of somebody. There have been many times where women and men, many times, have been compromised because images that might put the other person in a vulnerable situation have been shared publicly. Here's something that you should know. You are not the paparazzi. You have no right over deciding whether someone's images, whether someone's mobile phone, or whether someone's wallet is up for you to take charge of. You are not responsible for distribution of somebody's private images. You are not allowed to delve into someone's phone and look at all their messages without their consent, and you certainly are not privy to their personal space without them letting you into it. So gentlemen, before you take any such step, ask yourself the question: would your sister or your mother or your friend like it if something like this was shared without their consent? If the answer is no, you probably should not be doing it. And as I said earlier, it's always fabulous to just ask and take permission. Point number 3, consent before you get down to dirty texting. In today's digital age, WhatsApp and IMs are the new form of communication, so much so that 90% of all our conversations happen over them. Communication with the opposite sex, more often than not, happens through these mediums, which is why you should be all the more careful before you send something to someone that might make them uncomfortable. If you're sending out a flirtatious text, or if you're sending an image that does not need to be sent, again, put a filter in front of yourself and ask yourself, would you like it if your relative or a friend was to receive it on the other side unsolicited? And if the answer is no, again, avoid it. Point number 4, and my final point, consent before sex. This is a very touchy topic, and sex is something which is considered to be very private. In a country like India, it's almost a taboo to speak about it openly, but things and times are changing. Dating has never been easier. There are multiple apps like Tinder and Bumble which allow you to find women to go on a date with, and sometimes that leads to sexual relationships between two people. Here's something that I want you to get into your head. Do not assume that if things are going well, if a girl has lightly touched you on the shoulder or she's given you a hug, that she's open to sex. This applies the other way around as well. The easiest thing to do in this situation before you initiate any sort of sexual relationship or you initiate physical contact is to ask your partner, guy or a girl, may I? Only and only when the answer is affirmative, go ahead. Also, you need to understand that this affirmative answer does not give you the permission to do this whenever you want, at whatever time you want. Consent is a journey that is conditional. One yes does not give you the right to fly down this path forever and ever. You need to be clear every time you go down this path, you have a yes. It is that simple. One yes does not give you the right to do it as and when you please. And that brings us to the end of our video on a topic which is pretty close to my heart and which is something that I feel needs to be addressed. We've all made mistakes, myself included, but it's better that we talk about it in the open, and as a part of our discussions, we get to know more and more and we commit lesser and lesser mistakes. If you have a point of view that you want to share, do put it down in the comment section below. We will be sure to read it and let us have an open and healthy discussion about it. Till then, if you enjoyed this video, do consider subscribing. A ton of exciting content to come. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more. I now have your consent to say goodbye. Do I? Give me the consent and I'll end this. Yes? Alright. But I'll be back.